Cool. All right, what's good, everybody? It's Drew. We're gonna go over earnings, economical events, Fed speakers, if any. To go over the Fear and Greed Index briefly, and then I will go into the charts. So we look at SPY, we look at QQQ to see what the overall market's at. And with that being said, let's jump right in. All right, so the earnings for this week, there's nothing specific that stands out to me. I mean, GameStop is on here, which I wouldn't even worry about. And that's after close on Wednesday. NIO, the Chinese car company, electric car company, is on Friday before open. But I haven't been messing with Chinese stocks lately anyway. So yeah, nothing here really stands out to me. So quiet week as far as earnings so far. Let's go into the events, right? So these are the events for the week. Events for this week as well. Monday, we have services PMI and manufacturing PMI, which I never really pay attention to. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And Tuesday is the short-term energy outlook. Wednesday, crude oil inventories, and then Thursday before open is the jobless claim for this upcoming week. So nothing significant here that I would worry about. Pretty clear week, so we can see some nice moves. Fed speakers, there's no Fed speakers this week, so they have a blackout period this week. Next week, June 14th, is a big policy decision, whether they want to raise, pause rates, or start to bring rates down. That's going to be very interesting as well. So I think the market has pretty much a clear runway, if you will, for right now, up until June 14th. That's when we should see the next bit of volatility, extreme but volatility and stuff. So clear runway right now. Fear and Greed Index, we are at 65, and this is conflicting because last week, right, we started the week at 67. And we had a crazy run this week, so that's usually when we run up the Fear and Greed Index. It goes higher, right? It goes more. It goes up towards the 100 level, showing that there's more greed in the market. But it's actually, now that we ran up this week, the Fear and Greed Index fell 2 points, which is very weird. I've never seen this before. So definitely gonna be paying attention to that. But I do take this as we do have still a good amount of room to the upside. So even though we have run up a good bit, we can still run up a bit more, in my opinion. And I'll go over that when we go over the charts. Cool. So first things first, we got to start with SPY, the S&P 500. Like we said last week, we got a nice run up. We had a four-day week last week, and 2 of those days were in a little pullback. But then we got good strength. We coming on Thursday. We got to a low of 416.79, and Friday we got to a high of 428. So over $11 move in 2 days. It looks like there's a lot of bulls in the market. If SPY can hold these levels up here, I have no resistance until the 430, 431 area. So if we go on the weekly, right, we can see here that there's no resistance until this weekly high here, which is 431.73. Right, so let's go back to the daily. You can see we have no resistance until there. Right, so being that SPY has ran so much, we can definitely look for some pullbacks if we do get some, and kind of buy the dip. But we'll definitely be playing SPY slow this week, just to see how we're going to open, how it's going to hold, if it's going to pull back, is there going to be any profit taking or anything of that sort. So SPY is definitely in the uptrend right now. We can see we're making higher highs, higher lows. So we just kind of got to wait to see what we're going to do at this resistance up there at 430. But tomorrow we should have some good direction for that. Now QQQ, this is the tech heavy weighted ETF, right? Tech has what's been running this rally recently, right? So QQQ, you see here we still strong, still very strong. We have this unfilled gap up here from 356 to 359. We're currently at 354.65. That's about a $5 move up. QQQ can still see. Going down to the 4 hour, we can see we are riding a nice trend, higher highs, higher lows, nice uptrend here. So definitely for QQQ this week, we could look for a pullback into this trend line support, see if we can bounce up into this gap, or potentially we may just open up and run into the gap, and then we can see what we do from there. But ideally, I would love to see a pullback here, and for us to hold this support down here, the 352 area, 353 area, and see what we do from there. So for right now, I don't have any specific entry on SPY or QQQ. I'll just be watching them to see what it wants to do here. So next, let's go into my watches. Tesla is part of my top watch this week, right? So let's bust down this Tesla. Cool. So here's Tesla, right? Tesla this week, we got the breakout of this downtrend that has been in since February, right? We got a nice break with volume, and we've been in a straight up run, right? Every day has been green since we broke out. Tesla has not pulled back yet. I do have a nice support level at 210. Tesla currently is at 213.97. So 210 is actually Thursday's high as well. So if we can see a pullback into 210 and it holds, I would like to see a bounce off of Tesla off of 210. But the way that Tesla has been moving, it's been breaking out and holding pretty good. So we see we got this double top resistance here that is at 217.65. Well, actually, this high here is 217.25, and then back here is 217.65. So for confirmation, I would love to see Tesla break above 217.65, and I want to see it break it with good volume, with good momentum, and then we can take calls. We can take calls, and we have no daily resistance until 223.8. You can see if we break this resistance here, there's no resistance until 223.8 up here, right? So I think this is also a weekly. No, it's not. So the weekly resistance puts it at 237.4. And shout out for Rolo for bringing that to my attention. So that's a crazy move. That's a crazy move, right? If Tesla can get over 217.65 and hold, the next two targets are 223.8 and then 237, right? So that's a $20 move. And we know Tesla can do that. So definitely. So my levels again for Tesla is 210 bounce. And then my targets for the 210 bounce would be 217.65, 2238, and then 237.58. And then if we do break below 210 and hold and come back up and retest and hold underneath 210, then we can look for puts. Because we gotta be prepared for both sides, no matter how good the chart looks, to one direction. So Tesla's the top watch for me this week. As you can see, this is the 4 hour here. Another stock that's in a strong uptrend, has yet to pull back yet. So we can see here that, if we did get a pull. Tesla, AMD is very nice on the daily here. It's riding a nice trend as well. Low, higher high, low. Higher low, higher high, higher low. Nice trend, right? So I'm looking. What interests me about AMD is that it is now about to test the same trend, and also it has this gap, right? This gap comes all the way down to 108.9. It's about a $10 move now down, right? So I would like to see AMD break this trend on the daily with some value, and then once it can get below the low here, which is 115.8, this is the entry to the gap. If we can get below there, then I'll be looking to take some 110 puts potentially on AMD and playing the gap fill, playing this gap fill down to this 108.7 area. And of course, AMD could bounce off this trend here. So if you know, if money doesn't cycle out of tech this week and actually stays in tech. Next is CVS. CVS is very, very nice. I posted it this weekend. CVS is probably my second favorite. This is the top watch for me this week, right? So first off, let's go to the CVS weekly, right? CVS weekly is on the floor. We can see that. I mean, the weekly RSI is oversold. It's been oversold for some time now. And then we actually broke weekly trend. I haven't seen a weekly trend break in a while, but we know, saying that the trend is your friend. Once the trend is broken, look out for a nasty reversal. So here we got a confirmed trend break, right? We see we got a weekly candle that closed above the trend line here. It broke with rising bull volume, right? And this is also a bullish engulfing candle pattern, right? It's actually engulfing the previous 2 weeks. So this is very bullish. This shows that bulls are stepping into the market and we should get good bull momentum, right? So that's the weekly. But wait, there's more. So let's go to the 4-hour now, right? So the 4-hour, we see we got clear resistance on the 4-hour at the 70 level, right? So we see here, reject. Right here, we broke above it, but it couldn't close above it, right? So we got nasty resistance at 70 right here, right? So for CVS, I want to see it break above 70 with force, and I want to take calls, and then I'll be targeting. My targets are 71. So this resistance here, 71, and then 74. I thought I had it on here already. 74. Cool. All right. So these are my targets. You can see a 4-hour, we just have multiple bullish confirmations, right? We even have bullish divergence down here, right? The stock is making lower lows here. And then if we go to the RSI with the corresponding area I started at is making higher lows, right? Indicating a reversal, right? Bullish divergence. It's a reversal indicator. So we got that along with the nice ascending triangle, right? This is a nice ascending triangle. We got the flat resistance stop, and then we got the higher lows here, right? Bulls are stepping in. And then remember, we broke weekly trend with the bullish engulfing that's engulfing 2 prior weeks with rising bullish volume. So all this tells us that bulls have been stepping into CVS. And I think also healthcare. All right, cool. So CVS, I'll speak up a little bit. So CVS, again, I like calls over 70, break a hole over 70, and then my targets are 71 and 74. And this will be a swing play as well. These contracts are very cheap. I believe they were like 30 cents or so when I looked at them. But I'm looking at the 72.5 calls for June 16th. And then, I didn't go over the stop loss. Right, because I had all this stuff up, but it's not here now. Right, so our entry will be around 70, and I like a stop loss at 69.4. Right, and then our target, ultimate target is 74. It gives us a I did it earlier. Well, here it's saying a 4.88 risk to reward. See that here, and this is how I'm expecting it to play out. Maybe those probably gonna do whatever they want to do. We can see it. We can see a nice solid move like that. Good risk to reward too. So yeah, I'm definitely watching healthcare to catch some good momentum to the upside. Being that we broke this major trend here. Cool. So that's CVS. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. I like Goldman Sachs because. So first of all, let's look at XLF, right? XLF is the financial ETF, right? XLF Friday gapped up and had a very strong day, right? Whereas a bunch of bank stocks like Bank of America, they all did the same. JPM, and these are all in the same ETF as Goldman Sachs, right? JPM gapped up nasty, but it seems that Goldman Sachs is lagging because they didn't gap up; they actually gapped down. And the bulls did hold, but they didn't break the previous day high. So it's also off of the support trend line on the daily, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fifth touch here, right? So the daily looks good. We see we got the bull stepping in on the volume on the daily. Now let's go down to the 4 hour. Let's do the hourly. And on the hourly, we have a clear support at 325.3. Right, we have clear support, which was resistance that goes back, right? There's a white dotted line here. We see we got resistance. We got the break, retest here, the breakout here. It was support here. It was resistance here. Then we got the breakout. So this is a key resistance level currently. And then right now on hourly, you can see we are bull flagging right here. So I like a break over 325.3 for Goldman Sachs this week. And I like to take the 330 calls. I like the 330 calls for this week. They are about 1.1, I believe. And then I'm just going to play this gap fill, right? So the first target will be 327.3. And then the top of this gap is not until 330.52, right? So this is why I'll be playing on that. Want to see a breakout over this level and fill this gap, right? What's interesting about this, right? But this Goldman Sachs is a top watch as well, and those 330s are like 1.1 per contract. And Goldman is a mover, and it looks like it's lagging the financial sector. Oh yeah, what I was saying before too is if we fill that 4 hour and hourly gap, then it has this major daily trend line, right? So if we can end up breaking that above that 330, it has no resistance it has some resistance at 332.8 area, but above that, then it's 339, 340 potentially. So this is a trade where we may have to leave it running for the week because if this ends up breaking this trend. It can run. We've seen what happens when trend lines break. So, especially with this momentum the market is getting. Why the 4 hour chart? The 4 hour chart. I love the 4 hour chart because it's enough data to where you can see the bigger picture, and then it's enough data to where I have clear like support and resistances. It's just very clean to me. So of course, it's charting is preference. Saying some people like the hourly more and stuff, but my 4 hour, I like looking at the 4 hour, and the 4 hour gives very solid levels. And so if you find a level on the 4 hour, if it breaks that, it's probably a pretty significant level. And I can show an example of that too. So I'm going to show an example of Square. After I do my watching and everything, to show the example of a 4-hour level and then a clean breakout. I said clean breakout. I'll write this down so I don't forget. Cool. So boom, yep. So yeah, that's the entry. That's the entry and stuff on Goldman. For downside on Goldman, I don't like downside unless it does come and it breaks this daily trend line, right? So this is all the way down, like 314, 315. So we ain't gotta worry about that until we come down there. So we did AMD, we did Tesla, we did Goldman. I have just a couple more to go over. I want to go over 2 airlines because airlines are like getting a good momentum as well. And then I'm going to go over Square, and then that's all I have. Jets, let's pull up the airlines ETF. Cool. All right, so this is Jets, JETS. This is the airlines ETF, right? So this has all like the airline companies. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For those who know who I like to trade, know I love ascending triangles. I love patterns, right? I love consolidation, continuation, reversal patterns, right? And the ascending triangle is one of my favorites because they have a high success rate for me. I say like 8, 9 times out of 10. But so, and the way I play these is I play, you know, saying upside when it's ascending triangle breaks resistance with value, right? So this is something I would play if I was seeing it. But this is the Jets ETF. I point this out because this is a confirmed upside breakout, which is bullish. And I found some airlines that have yet to break out, but it's tested. It's testing breakouts, right? So JetBlue is one. And I'll show you another. It's going to 4 hour. So boom, this is another example of why I like the 4 hour. So you see this range on the 4 hour, it just looks a lot more clean, a lot more technical than the daily does. For me at least. I mean, you might see it different, but for me it's just a cleaner look. So I bring this up because JetBlue has been on a nasty downtrend, right? And it's been consolidated in this range. So we seen that the Jets ETF already broke out to the upside and is holding, right? But JetBlue has yet to break out, right? So if Jets can hold an upside move, right, I'm willing to bet that JetBlue will break out of this resistance and follow suit, right? So this resistance is at about 7 point. Yes, I do play the channel. I love playing the channel. It's right now, it's just the sentiment is not very bearish, so I wouldn't play the puts right now. But I will play if it does reject and it give me a good wick like this or a nasty shooter off of this. I will 100% play this. I will 100% play this. And yeah, I love. A lot of people don't play the consolidation, but I do because to me it's clear. You know what I'm saying? If you buy a support, all you gotta do is, you know what I'm saying, ride into resistance, and if it breaks support, then you sell. And this is minimal risk because if it breaks support, makes a new low, then the trade is invalid. And that's just how I see charts. But I have a more bullish sentiment now because of Jets, the ETF, right? It's showing me that it's already breaking out to the upside, and you can see here, Jets is JetBlue is starting to get some rise in bullish value, right? So I do want to see a breakout above the 7.3 area. And I want to see it break and hold that, and then we can look at taking some calls. And this is very, very cheap. This is a $7 stock. So I believe those contracts were like 11 cents or something. So if we break above this, Then we see, say my daily targets are here, 7.5, which yes is only, saying 20-30 cent move, but with the contracts 11 cents, you can get, you can get 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 of these contracts, and that 20-cent move is some good money. So 7.5, and then 7.75, and then so on and so forth. The next high up here is 8, which is, it's doable, but I would probably load up on contracts down here and I'd ride the 50-cent move, and then if we see fit, we can even run to the $8 area. So that's JetBlue. And then of course for puts, if we get some nice reject around here and I see some nice bearish activity, then we can start to load up on some puts over there. And then AAL is another one. So we see AAL is lagging as well. Just ETF broke out. AAL has not yet, right? And AAL, again, I'm going to the 4 hour because you see what the daily shows here, right? Not very clear. But then say we go to the 4 hour. Now we have a very clear ascending triangle. So American Airlines, I like over 15.12. This is resistance right here, right? 15.12, and this resistance was actually, it goes back all the way over here. You see, it was support. It was MENAS support. Then it was resistance a bunch of times right here, right? So over 15.12 on American Airlines, and then I have targets of 15.33, 16, and then actually there's another level in between before 16. What is this? 15.8. Let's say 15.8. So American Airline calls above 15.12, targeting 15.33, 15.8, and then 16. This is a very cheap play as well. And then this is how we'll do. This is how we'll do our stop loss, right? So boom, we're gonna get in around 15.12 on the breakout, and then our stop loss is just gonna be this trend line, because we're already in trend, right? We're making higher lows. So we can hold this trade until it comes and breaks this trend line and then makes a lower low, right? But as long as it's making higher lows, we can ride this, right? So it'll probably look, our stop loss might look something like this. We're trying to tip it up here, right? We got a 2.9 risk to reward, right? So we see we're not risking that much. We're risking this much to potentially win this much, right? So win in my book. So I like American Airlines. American Airlines. And then, so that's it for the airlines. And then Square. So Square, and this is the one I'm going to show you the send it. Can you send the setup for? When we get done at the end of the weekly prep, we'll talk about that. We can do another like a trade view tutorial kind of thing. But yeah, we'll talk about that then. So Square Friday we took Square. We took the 62.5 breakout, right? So again, I'm going to show why I like the 4 hour. 4 hours more clean, right? So we can see how well prices has rejected 62.5 and how, how often we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at all these rejects, right? Even over here, it was support, right? So it's a very clean level. And then we broke it along with this trend line. Oh my bad, I just started acting crazy. Along with this trend line, right? And this trend line was right at that level, right? So I knew if we would break that, we can get a nice run up, right? So now that we broke above 62.5, now 62.5 is my support. So all I'm doing is waiting, right? All I'm doing is waiting at 62.5. See if it's gonna come back and retest, and then we can take it up. And then remember, Square got this gap on the daily all the way up here into the 70s. So that's about $10 move away. So if we can pull back and hold 62.5, I will take some calls here and I will swing them and hold them because this is a breakout, right? Remember, we breaking nasty trend. So we have no resistance. You know what I'm saying? We have this gap above, right? So we can just magnetize to this gap, right? So this would be ideal. Ideal would be a pullback. We may not get that, right? So you can see we got a level right here, 64.4 level, right? So if we do end up just going up, you can watch it break above here. But I don't really favor that kind of move. I would rather see this pullback here. But if we do break that level, if it holds well, then we can take some calls if the market is holding bullish. If tech is holding to upside, then we can take it up to that gap potentially. Yeah. And then and then if we break below that, I'm not comfortable taking puts to the downside. So I wouldn't take no puts. I just like the calls on Square. That Square. And then one more. I have one more stock. It's Beyond. It's for the small accounts. Because Beyond is very nasty as well. So Beyond here on the daily, another nasty trend. The trend is your friend. If we break trend, I'm taking calls. Right? So we got this nasty trend that we are literally testing right now. And then we got the double bottom here, right? Double bottom reversal pattern. Right? And then we got this gap. You got this gap from 11.9 to 12.2. So a small move, yes, but let's see if Beyond can break above Friday's high, which is at the resistance 10.83. We can probably take some 11 or 11.5 calls, and I will swing these at least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks because cheaper stock, it may move slow, so we want to give it time to make this move. It's last time it hit that support level. So let's draw it out here. This is support. So it hit it June 1st. It hit it May 12th. And then this might be all-time lows. This is all-time lows. This is all-time lows for Beyond. So, shoot, it's on the floor, literally. So even if it's a relief bounce from this level, this is major. So definitely watch Beyond over 10.83, and them contracts should be very, very cheap. Yup. So yeah, that's everything I'm watching again. Tesla, CVS, JetBlue, AMD, Square, GS, which is Goldman Sachs, American Airlines. Those are my watches for this week. I'm gonna post all the charts up with the levels and the targets and why I like the chart and everything. I'm gonna post all that up in my channel. So check that out. And then that's all I have. Appreciate y'all time.
But the first one is Starbucks. Calls above 99.66, which is last week's high. And the target price is the gap between 102.14 and 102.9. And that gap comes from the daily time frame. So this is actually my favorite watch on the week. Super smooth right there, super simple. Take the 102 calls. They're super cheap also. Hopefully the stock don't gap past the target, the entry. The next one is going The stop loss. Remember, for me, I do 30% stop losses, so I don't go off of a specific price. I go off of my return on investment at all times. All right. Next is going to be AMD, which Drew kind of covered it, but we got a slightly different entry. Red 2 up on the daily. I got puts under 117.68. So that's just Friday's low. Puts under 117.68. Target prices is 116.6, 115.8, and then the gap fill down to 108.27. When the stock reaches 117.29, that means that's the opening of the month. That'll have full time frame continuity to the downside. Next play that I got is TTD or Trade Desk. That's pretty simple right there. Shooter on the daily. Puts under 74.08. Target price is 73.26. Then 69.85. And then the gap between 68.53 and 67.67. So from the close of that green candle, yep, to the low of that next green one. So just a small little gap. AMAT is the next one on the daily time frame. It has a 3-1 daily near the top of a Broaden formation. So I would take calls over 135.33. So I'll take calls over 135.33, and the target price is 138.8. Yep, I would target 138.8. But yeah, calls over Friday's high. Target price would be that high right there. I never knew till now. Hey, you got a skill right there, man. And I would take puts under Friday's low, 132.38. And the target price would be 129.99. And then the gap fill between 126.13 and 121.73. So from that close of that red candle to the low of the next candle. Yep. Next play I'm gonna go over is Baba. All right. Shooter on the day still has a gap to fill. I would take puts under 84.14, and the target price is a gap fill to 83, and then 79.35. And that 79.35 also flips the month back red. And Drew, I have like a trend line that has been rejecting, like a diagonal trend line. But Baba, that's simple. Red 2 up. Shooter daily rejecting the trend line. I would take the 80s on that. Those 80s are kind of cheap. Or if it ends up breaking out to the top side, Baba does. That will be a trend line break, aka the Drew special. But I don't have really upside targets for that. But I'm looking at the $80 puts. If it does continue to reject that trend line, they're like 37 cents or 37 bucks. I only got a couple more that I'm gonna really hammer on. Well, Abiva, Drew, on the weekly chart, I got Abiva with a green 2 down on the week. And I will take calls above last week's high, 138.71, and the target prices are the gap between 140.2 and 141.15. 140.2 and 141.15. And then 146.66. Super smooth. And again, entry will be calls on over last week's high.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is this is the same setup that CVS has. So healthcare, man. See? Healthcare. I think healthcare is definitely getting some momentum. But Abby ain't break yet though, so Abby still got room.
As far as like looking for calls and puts, not on every chart do I look for calls and puts, only if it's an inside candle. And I don't think I got any inside candles on my. I don't have no inside candles on the watch list. But that's Abiva. And then honorable mention the Domino's. So Domino's Pizza, hammer on the weekly, and it could be a potential 3-2-2 reversal on the weekly time frame. And when I say that, I'll have to give you a breakdown a little bit later, Eli, because I use the strat. But yeah, if I play Domino's Pizza, it will be calls above 303.56, and the target price would be 315.84.
Damn, they still up there like that?
Yeah. 78 cents right now. 310s is 155. What do you, and y'all got, yeah, I get specific to the cent. I think Drew do too. I think everybody gets specific to the cent. But my entries are like, I feel like the entries are very exact. So yeah, Domino's Pizza on the weekly, and if you break it down to the daily, it makes sense. As you can see, that will be the next like major resistance. So yeah, that makes sense. Into INTU, I'm gonna keep it on there, even though the contracts is a little weird. I do like this setup. That huge gap on the daily right there. And on the weekly, if you look at it, I would take calls over. It's got the same shit, 322 reversal potentially. Calls above 432.61. Yes, and it has the third trend line bounce right there that you can see. Calls above 432.61. Target price is the gap fill on the daily up to 449.88. That's a huge move. Huge move. 449.88. Or 449.80, whatever. Tomato. So that, the 450 is clear resistance. Yeah. And yeah, that is clear resistance. Alta on the weekly also. Similar setup to Into. Gap fill all the way up there. Weekly got a hammer. I couldn't see a trend line on this. I don't know if you got something. I tried it from back there, unless you count that.
Nah. It's like a break, really.
That's the only thing that I was suspect about. Because I drew it from there too, and I'm like, if this is just a break and retest of that trend line, then it could have a nice little fall. But
that shit coming from the floor though, for real.
But I would take calls over 423.77. Target price is 439.87. Then the gap fill up to 485. So from 423 up to 485. And it does have full time frame continuity green. It could stop at 440. Yes, it could. And I got that. That's the first target price at 439.87. So and lastly, the last one I got is Amazon on the daily. Just a shoot on the day, puts under 124.02. Target price is the gap fill down to 122.77 and then 119.93. Yeah, but if it breaks that trend line, I don't think it's gonna break that trend line because we're on such a strong uptrend. It might be just a slight pullback needed, but I could see this coming down to like 120. That's a decent little psychological level too, man. But that's all I got, man.